Hello my fellow YouTubers, this is IMAXNation1980 here, and last autumn, October 31st, Halloween to be exact, I went to Goodwill and got a couple of Disney VHS tapes, and I never showed them in a vlog. I was planning to for a long time, but of course things get in the way, so without further ado, here they are. This is probably my best copy of the 1985 VHS of Pinocchio, the Classics Edition, which turned 30 a couple days ago, because it was released July 16th, 1985. And the case is in tip-top condition. There are no splits down the spine or anything. Of course, all you Disney video collectors have seen this before. And of course, we've got the tape, also in very, very good condition. I think it has the Maxell shell. Looks like it. And yep, the label is the same and everything. Print date is a little later though, August 15th, 1985. It does not contain the Black Cauldron trailer. But what this set does have are some promo stuff. A business reply card here. I always love it when they, the people who sell these things, they keep these. And here we've got a promo card advertising the Walt Disney Comedy and Magic Review, which, of course, this and Pinocchio were part of Disney's Making Your Dreams Come True promotion, which started in December 1985 and ended in January 1986. There it is, Making Your Dreams Come True. 21 best-selling Disney titles, only $29.95 each. This, of course, was in response to Pinocchio's original list price, which was $79.95. Yeah, these were all the titles that were available during the sale, the promotion. I love it when I come across these kinds of things. And here we have the Classics edition of Lady and the Tramp. As you all know, this was released in 1987. The VHS, of course. Before anyone mishears that, then I know the film came out in 1955, but this VHS was released in 1955. I've had a few things, I've had a few people come onto my channel and they thought when I was saying the years these VHS tapes came out, they thought I was talking about the films themselves. No. I'm talking about when the VHSs came out. So this is the best condition copy of the Lady and the Tramp 1987 VHS that I have. Case is in really, really good condition. No split down the spine or anything. Case is in excellent condition. No split down the spine. And here we have the tape itself. Now, unlike my other two copies, I have one on VHS and I have one on Beta. The label is a little bit different. The Classics diamond is in the middle rather than on the top. Later printings of Lady and the Tramp would have the diamond in the middle rather than the diamond above the film's title. And of course, for some reason, all the Lady and the Tramp VHS tapes that I've seen don't have print dates. I guess Disney wasn't doing that in 1987. I don't know. But yes, I'm glad that I own this variation of the 1987 Lady and the Tramp VHS. And in excellent condition, too. Now, this one isn't in the best of condition. This is the 1994 VHS of Alice in Wonderland. As you can see there, it's the Masterpiece Collection Edition. Yeah, it was kind of beat up. Tape works fine, though. And I'm glad that I got my hands on this, because this was one of the Masterpiece editions that I didn't have. Tape label, very nice. And the print date on this one is August 7th, 1995. The tape contains those three previews that are common on 95, maybe early 96 era Masterpiece Collection printings. I'm not as good with remembering the Masterpiece Collection era printings. I know that the early 1994 printings have the 1986 Walt Disney Home Video logo at the start rather than the Masterpiece Collection logo. This has the Masterpiece Collection logo with the Masterpiece music, not the distorted Classics jingle. It also has the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection promo where it shows all the titles, and it also has the Brave Little Toaster on video trailer, and it also has the Walt Disney Family Film Collection of all the live-action films. Speaking of the live-action films, if you have Turner Classic Movies, be sure to check their schedule, because they run something almost every month or every 2 months called Treasures from the Disney Vault, hosted by historian Leonard Maltin, who is a big Disneyite, and they show live-action classics, short films, and more obscure things. They show episodes from Disney's Disneyland anthology television series. Tune in. I'm glad that this great stuff is somehow being shown to the public again, if Disney isn't willing to release it on Blu-ray or on digital platforms. They've been kind of sluggish with that stuff, and that's another rant for another day. Speaking of that Family Film Collection promo, here we've got the Walt Disney Film Classics edition of Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, the Great American Legend series. They made like all these sort of sub-series for the live-action films when they started using this heading. One of them was the Don Knotts collection, given the amount of live-action movies that Don Knotts starred in for the company. So, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. Of course, this is a classic. If you haven't seen Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, it comes highly recommended. It's, of course, those episodes that were shown on Disneyland in 1954 and into 55, I believe, or maybe it was just 1954, and they were edited together into a feature-length film, and that was a big hit. They followed it up with a prequel, Davy Crockett and the River Pirates. And around this time, they started using the PG rating for Davy Crockett, because the earlier video releases of Davy Crockett from the 1980s, they listed it as a G-rated film. It must have been rated G back in the 60s, and then they realized later on that maybe it was a little too violent for a G rating, so they changed it to PG. And this was printed July 24th, 1997. I believe this was released in November 97. I'm kind of rusty when it comes to these little releases, but I could probably tell when it's from just by looking at the print date or what the previews are on it, if I don't know the exact date. And here's another business reply card. These are always great to find. Nice little treasures. Here's another live-action classic. This is The Three Lives of Thomasina, a 1964 story about a cat. I think it was based on a book. And this is said to be one of Walt Disney's better live-action films. Not that Walt Disney didn't make good live-action films. He made a ton of great live-action films. This is said to be one of the better ones. There's this sort of generalization that goes around that Disney made forgettable live-action movies, but that's not entirely true. Walt Disney made a ton of great live-action movies. And this VHS is either from late 1991 or early to mid-1992. This is part of the Walt Disney Studio Film Collection, where, you know, they wanted to collect all the best of Disney's live-action classics and give them video treatment. Even though these films were already available on video, they were released during the days when Disney used the Sorcerer Mickey's box scheme from the 80s up until the early 80s up until the mid-80s, 1980 to 1987 to be exact. And they retired that, and they figured by the early 90s, let's give the best of Disney's live-action classics, you know, a good sort of collector's, let's make them a collector's series and give them this packaging so it would look nice on your shelf. We've got the tape itself. The print date on this one is September 17th, 1992. Close to my birthday. But yes, I actually haven't watched this one yet, and I'm sorry I haven't, but when I get the chance to sit down here and watch it, I will. Been very productive, things have been very hectic, and I'm watching all kinds of movies lately. This is on the must-watch list. Might watch it tomorrow even, who knows. But I've heard great things about it. And it has an opening tune written by the Sherman Brothers. You can't go wrong. Here we've got a Touchstone release. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, of course, a real classic right here. And as you can see, the Touchstone video releases were always much different from the Disney ones, and for the most part came in cardboard slipcover cases, though they did come in clamshells very early on. Into the late 80s and into the early 90s, they were given the cardboard slipcover cases. And here we've got the tape. So you can see the Touchstone releases kind of followed a similar pattern to the Disney ones. They used the big white labels because course, Betamax was still around, and they used a tape label that would accommodate the Betamax versions along with the VHS versions. And that was before they went to silkscreen labels. It's a very interesting flap right there. There's no print date, unfortunately. I actually have not watched this VHS. I've only seen the Blu-ray of the film, which I own. And as far as I'm concerned, I think the Blu-ray might still be censored, because this film was censored a ton of times when it hit video. They censored a particular scene with Baby Herman. Of course, this character right there, if you haven't seen the film, I mean, it's obvious. And they also censored a particular scene with Jessica Rabbit. And Michael Eisner's phone number apparently appeared on a bathroom stall. And they, you know, digitally or airbrushed that out or whatever. So this is likely that version with all those things censored. I don't know if the Blu-ray restored all of those, but I'll have to check. I think they kept the particular Baby Herman scene. Not sure about the Jessica Rabbit scene, because it goes by so quick. But yeah, Roger Rabbit's a classic, and I'm glad that I have the first ever VHS of this film. Must be from '89. Doesn't even have a print date. Here is the Masterpiece edition of Mary Poppins, which was released in 1994. October 28th, 1990, or was it October 25th? Yeah, October 25th, 1994, because when Snow White was released on VHS, on home video for the first time, it was the starting point of the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection, and as you can see here, it features the full logo on the back. You could tell it's one of the first Masterpiece editions if it has this thing on the back. And the titles that were never really put on moratorium, they were given the Masterpiece Collection treatment. Like, for instance, prior to the release of this this edition, there was the 1989 VHS, which had the same exact cover, but it didn't have all of this. And Mary Poppins, the font for Mary Poppins was in a different color, and the spine was different, of course, and the back was completely different too. It was like the classics releases. And they basically took those, and Alice in Wonderland was one of them, along with Dumbo, and they re-released them so that they would fit into the Masterpiece Collection. And that way they were still available to own. Nowadays it's a little different. I think Mary Poppins went into the vault. I think Dumbo went into the vault, but for the longest time, those films were always available. And here we got the tape itself. Print date, September 22nd, 1994. So this tape is going to turn, 21 in a few days. And it also came with a promo booklet. Let's have a look. And here we have the 1998 Masterpiece edition of The Little Mermaid. And I actually already have this tape in my collection, but it was sealed. And my policy when it comes to collectibles is to not open unopened things from years ago. And this tape is from 1998, so yeah, but I got a copy that was open, so now I can watch it. And it's got... This version of the film is particularly different. A certain scene was edited after controversy. like a minor alteration was made to it, not a whole scene, but a minor alteration to one minor little thing, but it's not worth bringing up because the controversy over it was stupid in the first place. And also the end credits are different. I think there's like a music video of Jodie Benson singing Under the Sea or somebody else, and it's like synced up with the credits. It doesn't have the film's original 1990 credits. If you want to see the original film unaltered completely, even with that scene not censored or altered, the one I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, find the Classics edition, which was released in 1990. It's direct from the original film itself, the original prints. So that was printed February 17th, 1998, and I'm glad that I have a copy of it that I can open up. But this version of the film pretty much isn't really worth watching, but hey, I wanted all the Masterpiece Collection editions, so why not? So yeah, thanks for watching. This is IMAX Nation 1980, signing off.